Hey everybody, hope you're well, and it's James here over at Crypto Rookies. Today we'll be interviewing Daniele Izzo over at Amon, and this video is cram-packed with loads of updates. I'm feeling Hey everybody, hope you're well, and it's James here, the Part-Time Entrepreneur and Crypto Rookies. And today we have the absolute pleasure. We have the CEO of Amon, which is Daniele. We've had him on the show before. He's back again. He's got some really exciting news today, and I really appreciate him taking some time out to speak to us. Hey Daniele, how you doing?
Yeah, great. Thanks, James. Hi, James. Hi, everyone.
Are you in? Is it Barcelona?
Yeah. I'm at the moment in Barcelona. Yes.
Okay. I see you got your cardi on today. Is it cold out there?
Yeah, it's a bit rainy.
Is it? Oh.
I mean, it's not super cold. I'm with the scooter, so with the motorbike. So, it's a bit cold when you use motorbike, but otherwise it's quite warm. Yeah.
Oh, nice. So, the weather here isn't as great as well. We had this massive, huge summer for about 3 weeks, and then it's gone a bit cold. So it's the same thing here. So obviously you guys you've been busy in the background. I know that you've been on lots of different calls. You've been hiring some new people. I spoke to Luca the other day, which was a really great interview. Just in terms of, how is Amon progressing, and what are the key updates that you've got for the community?
So yeah, in the past months we have developed a few things. So we have we kept posted the community via the monthly update or the question and answer interviews that I did. So we have, for example, we achieved 2 licenses. We released the app on the Apple Store, so on iOS. We have a new blog now. And we have also restarted the website. We have new partnerships. So we did a bunch of things, but we were still continuing, of course. So, for example, we will shortly release the desktop wallet app. We're working also on functionalities of the exchange. So basically, the Amon. So you know that one of the things we want to do is to basically that the users will be able to purchase cryptos within our wallet. So one of the things we are doing with our IT team is connect the Amon wallet with some exchanges. There's something also that you probably don't realize a lot, but we're working on SEO, so to increase organic traffic. During the period of the SEO, we mainly had the paid traffic, of course, because we had a short time. So you mainly purchase articles and you go on blogs by paying. But now with the new blog, we are increasing backlinks. We are creating new content, so we are working on the SEO side, so to increase the traffic of our website. And of course we're working on the card side, so we're working every week with our card issuer, so to finalize the application and to submit the final application. Yeah.
You've been busy.
Yeah. It's quite intense, but we have a great team, so we also increased people. We'll probably talk about it later, but yeah, of course it's a busy time. Yeah.
And so with all of this stuff going on and all around you and the markets and different bits and pieces, what's sort of been the biggest challenge for you as a CEO? Because this is a very new arena and environment, but what are those big challenges?
Yeah, we have different challenges. So one, for example, the challenge is that one of the challenges we have, for example, is that to find people really experienced in blockchain, for example, IT people, is not super easy, for example. So we hired new developers, for example, but not everyone performed well. So one of the challenges that we have internally, for example, is to increase the IT team is not easy because at the moment we have 4 developers. We hired a new one, but it happened already in the past that we hired someone and then we saw that they were not skilled enough because what we are doing is completely new. So this requires a lot of energies and time, for developers to learn actually. Of course, one of the problems we have, but not only us, I think everyone in crypto world, is that still the acceptance of crypto is still slow. There are some programs, for example, that we can't use. I just want to make an example for everyone. We got banned on MailChimp, for example. It's a simple tool, where you send emails, to your community, and so it's not a big issue, for example, to replace MailChimp, but there are, of course, tools that you are used to use in companies that you might not use because you're a crypto company, simply because you're a crypto company. And that's, of course, is a problem, when it comes to internal, management. So I think, the biggest challenge is that still the crypto companies or blockchain companies are still not accepted by everyone, and you still need, to use tools and to use banks, and to use, all the infrastructure that you generally need to start up a company. So yeah, that's I would say the biggest one.
Yeah, I started the ICO discount club with reviewing all the ICOs, and I had exactly the same issue with MailChimp because it had the word ICO in it, and they banned me, and I was like, man. So there's a lot of people, like you say, that just aren't either buying into crypto, accepting crypto, or fear crypto because they don't understand it, and it does cause some barriers and challenges and stuff. So I feel your pain there as well. But I've got to say, one of the things that I've noticed quite recently, which I think, got to hold you guys up and say you've done a really good job, is the blogs. The blogs have been absolutely brilliant. Whoever's writing them and that, they're big tick from me because they're really interesting reads every single day.
Yeah, great. Yeah. We hired a few copywriters, so we keep new content every day, basically. Yeah, we try to write every day at least an article. Yeah.
So yeah, they've been really good. Obviously, there's a lot of people in the market itself is not in a great place at the moment. What are your sort of views on the market at the moment, and what do you see going forward?
Yeah, I mean, I think the market is shrinking since more or less January. So it's a period. There's a downtrend, over this period, which is not helping, of course, So it's I think there are different reasons for this, but I hope that someday soon it will pick up again. Of course, this creates, let's say, bad influence within the communities in general, not only on us, but I think on all the crypto world. The market cap really crashed in the past months, but yeah, I think there is the adoption is something that goes slow, but it is still going. So we have seen some good news also recently. So I think step by step it will go back again to where it was before. So hopefully we'll get back in the next few months.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have put a lot of weight on ETFs and things that's like the golden egg, where in reality Bitcoin got to $20,000 without any ETFs at all. It was just a bit of hype, people getting into blockchain, and obviously some people were in at crazy low prices and they sold out, made some good money, bought Lambos. There's so much, I think, that or so much potential at the moment. So one of the things I'm doing at the moment, I'm having a look at the markets and looking for bargains. And obviously this is a question, theoretical question. So I know you do a bit of investing yourself. If you were looking at the market now, is there any particular coin that grabs your fancy at the moment, or you'd add to your portfolio?
I wouldn't give any advice because I don't want to be responsible for other people's investments. Of course, I can say that our token is very underevaluated at the moment. Mainly because I think we don't have the product ready yet. So that's the big point. But of course, at the moment the token has no utility at the moment. But once we will be completing our product with the exchange and with the card, of course the value will pick up. We already have a big company which, for example, they want their token to be listed in our wallet. So we are closing a partnership with them.
Awesome.
It's one of the biggest ICO in 2018. We will release the news next week. So we're finalizing the contract. So I don't want to say the name yet, but I think for any wallet that will get approved a card there will be tons of tokens, that they will be happy to get listed in this wallet, because of course, when you have a wallet, and you can also when you have a token and you allow your user, your community to spend it, this will also take value. I think there will be a lot of companies interested in listing their token in the Amon wallet once we will have the product ready. And we actually already have this company, and we will also be looking for new partners. But for us, the first step is to get the final approval, and then really look for other partnership as well.
See, that's really exciting that you've got that on board already. Because I know we talk quite a lot, and obviously every time I talk to you, there's all new bits of news every single time because you guys are doing so much. It's awesome. In terms of there's a lot of new people to the channel. They're going, okay, you're talking about a crypto debit card. Can you just explain to the viewers what are the USPs of the Amon card? Because you guys are very different to some of the other products that are out there.
Yeah, so I mean, just going back a little bit to the basics. Our wallet at the moment allows to send and receive BTC Ether and the Amon token. What we will add as a next functionality is also the exchange, so that you'll be able to convert, to buy and sell these cryptos within our wallet. The third part, of course, is to add a card with which you'll be able to spend in every merchant. We also have an important value proposition, which is the AI system, which is basically a system which allows which actually suggests users which is the best performing crypto. So the AI has a different, let's say, layer of complexity. So the easiest one, or the first one, basically is to detect which is the crypto you're making more profit on, and suggesting you which is the crypto you have to spend basically at the time of the purchase. So this is I think one of the most important value proposition that we offer to users, and which is something that of course nobody has in the market, and that we'll be able to release once we have the card ready.
I think for me it was the AI bit that just, especially with a lot of people coming to crypto, they don't want to be looking at their phones and going, okay, how much more up today? Which one do I mean, it's just, you don't want to be there. You just want something just to tell you quite quickly. And that's what I love about this. Keeping it simple for noddies like me, mate, which is good. I like it. So obviously the big thing that everyone talks about is, getting on those bigger exchanges and stuff. What plans have Amon got for getting on those bigger exchanges?
So to go on big exchanges, so the main point is basically to invest an amount of funds that you have to go on these big ones. So I think there are three ways. So one is to simply pay whatever they ask for, and a lot of times they ask millions to get listed on these big exchanges. The second one is to create partnerships. So one could be actually to list their token in our wallet, and then in exchange to have our token listed in their exchange. And another one is to create the product, get ready the product, and then get the attentions of these exchanges. Most of the smaller exchange, or let's say the second or third tier exchanges, they want you to bring users to their exchanges. So that basically your community will actually exchange, will trade your token on their exchanges. The big ones instead, what they do is basically they bring you more users, of course. They bring you more visibility. At the moment, so we have plans, to get listed on big exchanges, but we want to do it in a clever way. We don't want to just pay $2 million US dollar, to get listed on a big exchange. And then, we will basically withdraw funds from what we want to do, which is the product. So at the moment we are on 5 exchanges. If we would get listed on second or third tier exchanges, what we would end up would simply moving our community from one to another small exchange or smaller exchanges. What we want to do instead now is to acquire new users, a new user base. So I think so for now our idea is that the best way for us would be, or either try to have partnership with this bigger exchanges, or to wait until the product is ready, which hopefully it does not take too long, and then it would be their interest, to really get our token on the exchange.
Just out of interest, and if you can share, what's the most you've been quoted to get onto an exchange?
I mean, we have a few ones. We have a few ones that we are looking at. The most, I mean, I don't have a name, but we would go for the ones that have more community visibility. So there are a few ones, for example, that you have to get votes, to get listed on. And this one I think is where people really, have more interest in, or they follow more these exchanges. So we will try to get on exchanges that they have more attentions of the communities rather than on traders, for example. So it's not only about volume. Of course, it's also about volume, but it's also about getting people to know about our app, our product. Basically.
Now that sounds like a good plan. It seems like, because some of the numbers I'm hearing to get on some certain exchanges has just been astronomical, sort of half of what they raised in the ICO, which is just nuts, really. So obviously you guys have been not just busy with the product, but you've also been busy with the team. So recently you brought on Luca, and obviously I interviewed him the other day, which was great. What other new hires have you got in the plan, and what's part of the vision for Amon?
Yeah, I mean, we have new hires. We had new hires every month, basically. But the point is that we don't present everyone, because I understand the community want to know the big names, and sometimes we really need people that really work on the tasks. So we don't only need executives at the end. So we have new people in the marketing team. We hired a few developers as well. They might not be big names, but they work. They do their job, they do their tasks. So I think we will make an article, with a few new hires that we did soon. But we constantly look for new people, especially in the IT team. For the card side, we are pretty much okay at the moment. Until the process gets done, I think we will be fine. For the marketing, we also might need a few more people. So at the moment, maybe IT and marketing is the parts where we would more look at. Even if we already made some hirings, yeah.
Okay, so there's quite a bit of going on with the marketing department and IT are the key core areas. Okay, obviously you guys are in the process. You brought Luca in, he's got those licenses. I think from some of the communications, the application went in mid August. And where are you guys in that process? How long do you envisage things taking, and when do you think we might have a potential live product?
Yeah, I mean, so in general, the process it works like this. We are working with our card issuer, so we have our card issuer as interface. So we talk to them every week. We discuss details of the KYC that they will run. We discuss who is the company that will actually produce the card. We discuss also details, behind the crypto card. There are mechanisms which it might look simple, but actually are not. I can make you an example, which is, for example, the pre-authorization. When you go on a website on booking.com, for example, and you want to book for a hotel, what you're doing is a pre-authorization. So what you basically do is you give your card, and what booking.com does is block an amount on your card, basically. When you have a crypto, for example, so one of the questions we had is what do we have to block? Because if we block 0.5 BTC, it might be in 2 months when you will actually go to the hotel and you will actually pay, the value of BTC might be down or up. So there are details, when you work with cryptos, that are really important, that we really go in detail and we discuss with our card issuer, and then they refer to the card scheme so that we are clear on this, because we know all the legal issues and the problems that we had, not us, but in general companies had with Wavecrest and part of the problems were caused by the fact that things were not clear, things were not super compliant, and now we really have to be careful on every single step, on every word that we use in the application, that we use on our website. So to really give the impression, that the card scheme we want to give. So it's a really detailed, process. So at the moment, yes, we handed in. So at the beginning, we handed in a draft. So they came back to us. They asked us for changes. But this process is a kind of a constant process. So every week we get feedback and we work on the feedbacks. We work on new things, and this one goes on. So for a normal card scheme, you might have, for example, 1 month, for the approval. But for crypto one is different. It's more complex. It needs to be regulated under certain aspect, and this might take longer. That's why it takes longer, basically.
There is like so many companies out there, because obviously I did that research and that video quite recently, a view of the debit card market, which I will release quite soon. And that sort of highlighted that there was a lot of companies out there, and things like Monaco. Monaco's been knocking about for nearly, 2 years, and they still haven't got a product. And the exciting thing with you guys is that you're the new kids to the game in the sense. This year, I think the ICO finished in March or April, and before the end of the year, it sounds like there could be a live product out, which would be an amazing feat considering how long you guys have been about.
Yeah. I mean, I think it really depends from the card issuer that you have. I think it depends really from the type of relationship that they have with the card scheme. So it all stands about the relationship that they have. So Monaco, I think they have this card issuer, which is in Germany. So we have another one. But, I think it really depends, For example, 10x, they released much before a card when it was with Wavecrest. But, it's the same for Wirex that they released the card. So I think it really depends, on who is your card issuer, which kind of relationship they have, and how fast they can work to release it. I mean, it's generally like this because I think all us companies which are releasing cards, we are pretty much keen on releasing it as soon as possible. I think Monaco also did a different type of job, because they created a lot of different cards, and this on a technical level means that you probably need different type of things. I don't want to go into details, but if you have more cards, you might need to have different type of processes for each card. And this might also take more time for them, but also for the card issuer and the card scheme to be organized.
Okay, so it's adding sort of layers of complexity with the different types of cards.
Of course, it's like this. I mean, if you want to create a very small product which just goes and works for what a card is created for, it might take you a certain amount of time. If you want to add insurances, if you want to add add-ons, if you want to add iPort, VIP Lounge, these are all add-ons and features that takes time to be developed.
Because originally you guys were going to go with like different levels of card. Is that your focus now, or is the focus on getting sort of a standard card out and then build from there?
We will have different levels, but we want to make sure that we have a card ready. And if this will be an impediment, to get things slower, we will release the first card first, and then later the other ones.
Okay.
It's the same for the add-on features. We are looking at different add-on features. The card scheme has already partnerships, so you can pick the ones that you think will be more interesting for your community, and you have, of course, to then process them. But it's the same. If we see that it's something that it will slow things down, we will just release the card first. Yeah, one card first.
Oh, okay. That makes total sense, and I think I know you guys have done a lot of work working with the community to ask the community what they actually want as their benefits as well with the card, which was really good to see, because I've not seen any other card company do that, so that was nice to see. I know that you've got a little something up your sleeve today, where you've got the new wallet that you're gonna just talk around and hopefully give us a bit of a guided tour.
I can share the screen.
So can you see the screen, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, great. So basically here is the new interface of the desktop wallet app. So we see here, we have a dashboard. So the dashboard is basically composed by the transaction. So at the moment, this is in dev. So we don't have any transaction. I don't have any transaction here. And then here is a crypto wallet. So in the future, we will add the fiat wallet as well. And here's the global market. Here to send and receive. So it's just quick link to send and receive BTC, Ether, and Amon tokens. And here also I've changed the QR too. And then here we have the transaction. Here will be displayed all the transaction. Here as well the receive and send as well. So basically the dashboard has a bit of everything. And here is the details basically of all the tokens, of all the cryptos.
And is the AI going to feed from this market section here? To, you talked about how the card will automatically say, hey, this one's doing really well, use this one because you're in more profit. Is this where all that information will come from?
Yeah, I mean, here there's a part which is the order card section that this is still not here, but it will be live when it will be live. So from here you will be able to order card, and then there will be a card section which is dedicated to the cards basically, and there will be added the AI system. Yeah, so it's something that we are still working on, just like the card features and everything about the cards. So for the moment, the only thing that we have that we will have online is the possibility to order the card. So we started the pre-ordering, I think, more or less a month and a half ago. Yeah.
And how's the pre-ordering of the cards going?
No, it's going pretty well. So considering that we are not really pushing marketing in terms of paid marketing, so basically we are not doing like AdWords or Facebook or any media that we used to do during the ICO. We're not pushing on any media. I think we're doing fine. So as I said before, we're working a lot on SEO. So we are seeing traffic coming from organic traffic, and we see everyday new orders without actually doing marketing or at least paid marketing.
Okay. And can you reveal what you're up to at the moment, or is that top secret for now?
You mean in terms of marketing, or
in terms of cards pre-ordered so far?
I think we have around about 5,000 pre-orders after the ICO. So in a month and a half, more or less, we collected 5,000, and then we have all the ICO orders, which are around about 3,500, more or less. Okay. And these have a priority over the other one that I'm pre-ordering now.
Okay, so you're not far off 10,000 cards already. That's pretty decent, actually.
Yeah. No, I think it's a good number. It's spread in different countries as well. So this will give us a little bit of let's say space, to start in some countries, because we will have some priority countries that we will start with. And so we cannot roll out all the thousands of cards. So we will have to make a testing and then make a few hundreds first, and then to roll out new countries and new cards. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that seems right. I think I've seen something from 10x today. They were doing something similar. They were doing some testing and bits and pieces, because I'm not sure if they're close to it or if the cards are eventually ready or whatever. But I've seen a few bits from them. So seems like most of you guys will be hitting the market probably about the same time, which would be interesting. Yeah. But I think I know when Julian was talking about a lot of stuff, they said they lost with the market crash. They lost quite a lot of the community. Where I think you guys are in a different position where you haven't lost anybody. You're actually building, which is a positive sign, and sort of you guys move forward.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we are not pushing that much because we want to wait also that we have everything in place. Otherwise, I mean, a lot of people that you might get now on board, if they would wait a longer time, you might even lose them. So so I think it's a good strategy to also wait a little bit. That you have everything approved, and you also have exact timing. So when you can deliver, and then your community, I think, will be stronger because you know exactly when to launch it, rather than collecting people and then you don't know an exact timeline.
Yeah, no, it sounds great. It sounds everything's coming together. No, it's really interesting. I'm sort of fascinated by the project, have been for a long time, and just really appreciate you taking the time out to come and speak to us and share all of the developments and everything else that's going on as well. And I just want to say a big thank you from the community, because I know that you've been, anytime they've had questions, stuff like that, you've been very quick to sort of answer and come back and sort of be part of the community as well, which is really good.
Yeah, no, sure. Anytime for this, we're always available. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Daniele, and I will hopefully catch up with you over the next month.
Yeah, definitely. It would be great. Be great to catch up again with another video. Sounds great.
Cool. Yeah, and then we can just share this with everybody so they just know how close you are to that card, because I think that's the thing on everybody's lips at the moment. So that's awesome. Okay. Thank you, Daniele, and I really appreciate your time.
Okay, thanks to you, James. Have a good evening. Bye, everyone.